sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about sex. All right. Let's talk about sex. A little bit.
Ecological theory is concerned with the many social and cultural contexts that impact and influence our sexual lives. These contexts range from immediate influences on the individual, such as schools, churches, and neighbors, to broader contexts such as the government, educational, and political system. What is sex education? When should you inform people?
I think kids should be educated on sex around the middle school age. It's when they start experimenting, learning about things in their bodies. So I think that would be an appropriate time for them to learn.
Sex education should be taught before children have already established set attitudes and beliefs towards sex. Sex education should be taught at early stages of physical and mental development so that they can have a basic understanding and preparation of the changes and experiences that are to come. It should also be taught in a setting where there is trust and respect between the educator and child, and oftentimes this might be at home with parents or at school with the teachers.
Sexual development and reproduction are the physical and emotional changes associated with puberty and sexual reproduction, including fertilization, conception, as well as sexually transmitted diseases and HIV. Under contraception and birth control, there should be all different types of contraception, how you can get them, how they're used, the difference between them, how effective they are, and sometimes even abortion. In the relationship category, you could have love and commitment, marriage and partnership, and the law relating to sexual behavior, as well as the range of religious and cultural views on sex and sexuality.
The beliefs and attitudes that sex educators have has the possibility of having positive or negative effects on the children they educate. If sex education is taught without accurate and realistic information, then children may not have the skills and positive attitude and informed attitude to make the right decisions when they have sexual encounters. In the end, despite any attitudes or beliefs that sex educators might have passed on to children, the children will end up eventually having to make their own decisions and inform their own attitudes, and this makes preparing them to make the right choices in the end most important in sex education.
Policy intervention. Lastly, do we think sex education is important?
Sex education is important because it can teach kids about the consequences of bad decision making and the benefits of good decision making, smart decision making. Sex education can also help children create healthy and beneficial relationships with the people around them, and might help prevent children from getting sexually transmitted diseases and pregnancies further down the road. While a lot of people might not remember the sex education they got from the past, it is still an important stepping stone and foundation for information that is really needed.
Sex education is important because it informs teenagers about sexually transmitted diseases and teenage pregnancy.
Sex education is important because it prepares students for safe sex, and you don't want to have sex and you don't know what you're doing, and you have to be able to protect yourself. You don't want to be able to have disease and whatever, catch HIV.
Also, children are constantly surrounded by media or other people that might be giving them misleading information and having bad attitudes towards sex, and this makes receiving a good and formal sex education even more important.